Zeitgeist. My new cult. Okay, just hold on. This is just a lark, okay? I've been trying to make money, and I just can't seem to find any new ways to make money in this new economy. And someone suggested I should start a cult. So I decided, okay, I'll try it. So it's Zeitgeist, all right? Now, the foremost command of Zeitgeist is awareness or consciousness. It is imperative that one who is a member of the cult of Zeitgeist to be aware, okay? Now, there are many factors that come into play when one wants to be aware. Okay, you must listen to your thoughts. You must examine them. You must be like Socrates. You must question everything. All right, so you do not accept the common knowledge. Okay, the common knowledge says that you are to make money. Okay, and I have bought into that to a certain extent. And you see, as far as my spiritual self is concerned, that this is not right. This is not correct. This is not parallel to my goals, my ultimate destiny, okay? So one must find the purpose for their life, okay? And to do this, one must be aware. To be aware, one must listen to your thoughts, okay? Now, personally, I went through hell a few times. I have bipolar illness, bipolar 1, the worst kind, which means I have severe bouts of depression and mania at certain times and periods of my life. And this has forced me to reflect. But I realize that many, if not the majority, of the population do not go through this experience. And so I try to convey the wisdom of the experience of being manic or depressed. Well, of course, being depressed is hell. There's no question in my mind that if there's a hell, it is being severely, chronically hospitalized for depression. What happens when I have depression? It's so severe that my mind completely shuts down. So there are no thoughts. There's just a void, a maelstrom, a black hole, if you will. Okay? And all I have is my physical being to contend with. I have no spirit. I'm spiritless. Okay? And this makes one wonder why one is alive. And it forces one to beg, to plead with the higher power, to relieve them of this hell that they're in. Okay? Now, the terrible thing is it's never listened to. As far as there is no spiritual force that comes to my aid, never has. It is shook, but it never shook my religion to its core. There's only been a short period in my life where I didn't believe in God, and to tell you the truth, that was the happiest period of my life. Sad to say that, okay, but that's the truth for me. That's my truth. Okay, now, I can only imagine that God wants me to go through depression. Okay, it's for my own good, and I believe that. And so what I learned through those times is that there are valleys that must be traversed if you are to survive this life. There is nothing worse than being half-assed, in my opinion, or being mediocre. So there then lies the rub. I live all or nothing. That if I cannot master something, I will not do it. If I cannot be the best at something, I will put it away, put it aside for a while. If I cannot make money at something, I will not do that. And so the main focus of depression is yourself, and it forces one to find that you really are worth nothing. Okay? So that is the greatest wisdom, is that out of depression comes the appreciation that you're worthless. Okay? The natural process takes place. And guess what? The depression alleviates, and you turn normal. And then, sooner than you know, you become manic. And I can tell you this about mania, that there is nothing that can compare to it. I understand that people take drugs like cocaine, because that's what it's like to be manic. I've never taken cocaine, but I have read that that's what it's like. Okay? So I have because of my illness, I have free access to a cocaine-laden mind. And I can tell you that it is like being on fire, that every cell of your body vibrates with life and energy and positivity. You are invincible during those times, and during those times you will be visited by many spirits. And so that is the greatest wisdom I find with being manic, is my contact with not only spirits, but the fact of my own spirit. That I had a revelation, or I had a possession actually. One time I was smoking, listening to Coldplay. I believe it was When I Ruled the World. And a fiery being entered my body, entered my mind, and consumed it. And I don't know if that being is still present within me. But that is the greatest wisdom, is that we are spirit. And I can tell you this, that it is much greater to be spirit than it is to be body. So that makes one appreciate death and realize that death isn't the end, that we are not our bodies. In true essence, we are spirit. So to sum up, Zeitgeist, it is to be aware, it is to be unafraid, and it is to be constantly searching and exploring. Okay? Gotta let my cigarette out here just a sec. Now, I'm diagnosed bipolar 1, but I consider bipolar 1 a severe form of ADD, because I read of people and I've read of ADD symptoms, and I have them all, and they act like one, but extreme, okay? Because of that, being extreme puts you alone. And I don't mind being alone as long as I'm alone with many thoughts. So I'm losing a bit of track of thought here. I'm just trying to say that for Zeitgeist, you must be aware, you must be unafraid, you must search and explore, you must inhabit the hunter mindset, okay? I believe the ADD mindset is the hunter-gatherer mindset, that in fact we are born 10,000 or 8,000 years too late, that we live in a farmer agricultural society. So we are still with minds that work 8,000 years ago, that find themselves in an environment that didn't exist. So there you go. The hunter mindset, awareness, consciousness, unafraid, and to seek and explore. Zeitgeist.